imperial creature is any human or animal that lived in Singapore during the colonial era. It is because imperialism on our island influenced and affected everything, from plants to animals to humans to the structures that we live amongst. And so the idea of thinking about imperial creatures is to allow us to realize how not only are we interconnected, but the influence that imperial rule had on Singapore. The most surprising fact I learned about Singapore in the book, or animals in Singapore, was that rabies was introduced by pet dogs, by domesticated fancy dogs from England. For me, the most enjoyable chapter to write was the fauna in a colonial port, because it is a broad survey of how animals and humans interacted throughout the colonial era. It takes us from the port to the countryside, into people's homes. I discuss circuses and zoos and just how animals were everywhere. They were part of society. And so you couldn't avoid them at any time. And so it allowed me to help think about the other aspects of the book. My favorite reader response has been someone who told me they never have thought of Singaporean history in such a manner. One of the goals of the book was to get people to think about the imperial past, think about colonial rule in Singapore and how it shaped and changed the island.
So the next question is actually, what kind of books do you read, and do you have any book recommendations?
So I'm reading this book. It's about animals in Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Because, there were no tigers in Singapore until people came here. And then when it became more populated, then the small animals came here. And then the tigers swam across, because then they could eat the goats and stuff like that, you see. Yeah. So it's really quite fascinating how the whole story emerged.
Yeah, I never thought about animals in Singapore back then. That would be an interesting read.
It is, yeah.
And one of the things I would like readers to remember about the book is that our past is complex. It involves all people that lived here, but it also involved animals. It involved everything that makes up our society. And so if we can use these tales of animals to better understand Singapore, then I think it's succeeded. Thank you.